Alright, so here it is, the 22H2, I guess optimization guide. Pretty much just took the LTSC pack and changed some things for this version, because obviously this has bloat and stuff like that. But yeah, this is pretty much like in-game. This is like everything you could possibly need, want, think of. Yeah, this is everything. Um, I'm not gonna go through like the whole like Windows install, um, because I feel like at this point it's getting kind of redundant. You can just watch like the beginning of this video, like to see how to install it. It's literally the same thing. I'm gonna have a Google Drive link to um, 22H2 Pro version. So basically, um, yeah, basically I just removed all the other versions except for Pro. So if you're on a laptop or a pre-built or something, sometimes when you go to install Windows, just like a regular ISO, it will default to like Home or whatever you had before, and you don't get to choose Pro, which is kind of shitty. So I removed all the other versions except for Pro. So uh, there's no choice. Like it's only Pro, which is good because obviously you want to have Pro and not Home. Um, but yeah, everything else is the same. You can use Rufus, or if you want to use a different method, whatever. But yeah, basically, you make the bootable media with Rufus. Um, you have your flash drive here, and I'll also have obviously a Google Drive link for the pack. Just extract it, whatever, and put it on your flash drive. That way you have it when you install Windows. So yeah, just watch this video if you don't know, if this is your first time. Um, just go through here. It's on my YouTube channel. Um, and so yeah. Oh yeah. So a quick tip that I didn't mention in the LTSC guide. If you don't know how to get into your BIOS, like you don't know which key it is, um, you can actually just use this command in CMD. So I'll put this in the description. For some reason, you have to enter it twice. So like, if we were to go to CMD, basically just copy and paste this in there. Um, and like the first time it says like something about like it can't find the environment, just do it again and it will restart your computer into the BIOS. So you don't need to know which key it is. Oh yeah, and by the way, it needs to be administrative CMD. Yeah, something I forgot to mention real fast is please, please, please make sure you install this without Ethernet plugged in, or without your Wi-Fi card plugged in, or whatever you have to do to get off the internet. Um, please make sure you do that. We don't want Windows installing, drivers and starting to update and all that stuff. So yeah, here just don't have a product key. And then I think normally after this it would ask you which version, but it's just Pro, so won't ask you that. Uh, do custom, and then obviously in the LTSC video I explain what to delete. This is a virtual machine, so there's just one, and then just wait for this. Also, I say it in the LTSC video, but I'll say it again. After this finishes, it will restart your computer. If you don't go into BIOS, like while it's restarting from here, like after this restarts, you go into BIOS, because if you don't, it's just gonna loop back to the Windows install again. Most motherboards, well, I mean, I guess some will switch it to the newly installed Windows that this is installing, but some of them keep the flash drive that you use to the boot, like as the first one, so you just keep booting back into this basically. So yeah, when this restarts, just spam your key to get into BIOS and change it to the newly installed Windows. Okay, so once you've rebooted back, yeah, you'll be in here. Just get through this. It's gonna say, like, hopefully you don't have internet installed, or I mean plugged in or whatever. So yeah, you click I don't have internet, and you do continue with limited setup, and then this can be whatever you want. And I'm just gonna do like admin. Here you can just hit next if you don't want a password, and then we can turn all this off. It doesn't do anything, but yeah. And then you can hit not now for Cortana, and then gonna wait for this. Okay, so once you're on the desktop, that's pretty much what it's gonna look like. Just regular old Windows. You're gonna open File Explorer, go to this PC or whatever, and go to your flash drive, and drag on the pack. Okay, so here it is. You can put this anywhere on the C drive, doesn't matter, desktop, downloads, wherever you want. So basically we're just going to open this, go to setup, run tweaks. This will do a lot of the stuff for you. And then we're going to run this with PowerShell. So the first part, and just move this around. It's going to ask you want to remove scheduled tasks. You go ahead and hit yes. It's going to go through that. And then here, basically this is just going to install some necessary packages. So DirectX, C++, and Net 3.5 because we installed without internet. Usually this is installed, but if you don't have internet plugged in, it won't install this. So yeah, for Net 3.5, make sure your flash drive is still plugged into the PC because it needs to use it to install this. So we're just going to hit yes. And it's just going to run the setups for these basically. So yeah, we're just going to wait for this. Okay, so we're going to hit finish, and then hit enter, go to the next one. So this one will install. And then, yeah, so make sure it kind of like minimizes it's down here at the bottom, but yeah. So hit finish, then we'll hit enter again. And basically I just have a little message just reminding you to make sure your flash drive is plugged in. I'm gonna hit OK, and it's gonna give me an error because since I'm on a virtual machine, but yeah, this will go through that and install Net 3.5. So yeah, we can go ahead and continue with this. You can disable updates if you want. I think you need them on for like Faceit for CSGO. But yeah, that's the only thing I would think of that you'd need them on. We're on latest Windows 10 version, so there's no real reason to have them on. So yeah, we can disable that. You can disable Defender if you're confident. Defender's kind of trash anyway, so it just takes up resources really. Telemetry, this I just left this in from LTSC. You can't really disable telemetry on like regular Windows, but yeah, this just sets it to the very lowest, so yeah. And then update group policies so that all those can apply. And so next is just a couple like services, Bluetooth printing, some other useless ones. I didn't really like spend a whole lot of time on the services just because it doesn't really matter. But yeah, there's just some on here that are like really stupid that I thought I might as well just disable. So yeah, we can do that. And then this is the main difference. We have a debloat script for basically every possible like option that you would need. So we have debloat everything. This is just basically you want it to be like LTSC or server or something. Um, we have like pretty much the minimal debloat, so we're keeping store Xbox and Edge. We have store and Xbox, and then we have just keep Edge and store. So yeah, there's literally like I can't imagine a situation where none of these would be what you want. Um, so yeah, and by the way, if you choose one that doesn't have store, it's like if you chose debloat all or like this one, um, and then you end up needing store, I have a thing in one of the folders to install the store again. So yeah, and then also obviously from the store you can install other things. So yeah, I'm just gonna do debloat all and show you kind of what it looks like. So throughout the process, File Explorer is gonna restart like a couple times. Um, Basically just just let it do its thing. Don't touch your mouse keyboard. Just sit back, watch it, just wait. You don't have to click anything. Yeah. So basically it's just going through like a bunch of packages and trying to remove them. If it's not there, it just moves on to the next one. So yeah, I mean it looks pretty crazy, but yeah, it's just uninstalling packages really. Here's a bunch of ones that you probably don't have, but just in case they're there. Bunch of pre-built stuff and whatnot. Here it's gonna restart. This is where it gets kind of crazy because two scripts are running at once basically that both restart Explorer and open the start menu and all this stuff. So yeah, like I said, just don't touch anything, just let it do its thing. So yeah, at this point you basically just wait for this PowerShell window to close. It takes a second. So yeah, there we go. It restarts Explorer one more time, and basically it shows the File Explorer, or I mean Start menu, and yeah, there you can see everything's removed. There's no tiles, so normally there would be tiles pinned. It removed all those. So yeah, when this is like popped up, we can just sometimes it gets stuck. So yeah, you can see there. Just click around and get out of it. Hit OK. Hit enter. If you hit OK and it doesn't continue, just hit enter. And then, so for the power plan, basically, if you're using like PBO, like curve, I recommend the AMD one. Should help with stability. Everyone else just the ultimate performance is fine, so it doesn't matter. I'll just do this one, and then we can remove the default power plan so Windows doesn't switch it over, and then we're gonna restart. So yeah, when you've restarted, it should look like this, nice and clean. We go back into here and we'll install the internet driver. Basically, I have like a bunch in here. Same thing from LTSC if you did that. Device manager, network adapters, and then you're just gonna find whichever one. So like here we just do update driver, and then browse, wherever you installed the pack. So like here, go to Internet Drivers, click on Choose Me, and do OK, and do Next, and yeah, it'll install it. If it's not one of those in here, like for me, I have like a different like Wi-Fi card. Basically, you're just gonna have to like use a different PC and download the driver on there, put it on the flash drive, and put it back on here. So yeah, you have that. Once we're done with that, we can activate. So we just run this and then hit yes. Do that, hit enter, hit OK. And we're gonna wait a second. Okay, there we go. So once this is coming up, like it's activated successfully, just do OK, and then we need to restart again. Once you restart, back into here. Time for the graphics driver. Yeah, like I said in the other one, basically, sorry if you're on AMD, it's just screenshots and shit. NVIDIA is obviously what I'm using, so yeah, more stuff. But basically, we're just gonna open this link. It's gonna say this, just do OK. And then we're gonna put, so I mean basically we just want to install the latest driver, so you don't have to put like your actual GPU, because if you put like your actual one you might only see like older drivers. So we're just gonna hit search, and then just install the latest, usually the best bet. So yeah, we're gonna download this, save, and yeah, wait for that to. Alright, so once that's done downloading, just close that out. We're gonna use NV Clean Install just because we can automate a couple of settings. So we're gonna open this, use driver files on disk, and then just go to downloads. Open that. Here, if you want to strip it, you can click on minimum, and yeah, basically, if you don't use shadow play, there's no reason not to use the strip driver. If you use shadow play, just hit all. But yeah. So this is gonna unpack it, and then we can like do a couple more settings in here. So here I just check like 3 things. So I disable the telemetry and advertising, perform a clean install, and then under here I disable HDCP, just because you don't need HDCP, and like it might like help input lag, but who knows. But yeah, you don't need it, so might as well disable it. So yeah, then we just hit install. Obviously I can't like install this on here, but yeah, from here you just basically, it's just next. So yeah. Alright, so once that's installed, we can import the settings with this script. So if we run this, we're just gonna hit yes, and it's gonna give me an error, but basically it's gonna pause, and then your screen's gonna like flash black, and then it's gonna say it's imported or whatever. So hit OK. If you want to restore legacy sharpen, so like if you want to use sharpen and display scaling, we can hit yes for that. I'm just gonna hit no because I won't have that registry, but yeah. And then here, if you don't have a 3000 series card, basically it's not going to be in MSI mode. So yeah, find your graphics card. Let's say this was it. We're going to check this box and hit apply on the top right. And yeah, that's done. for that. A couple of like NVIDIA control panel settings. So like right click on your desktop. I'll just show on my actual computer. Here basically I have the registry key to make sure it doesn't show down here on the taskbar, but if it does show for some reason, it's right here, notification tray icon. Oh yeah, so go here, we're gonna check use advanced 3D image settings. Here we can, turn on sharpen. Make sure if you're playing Call of Duty, you add sharpen to the game before you open it, or else you'll get the shader glitch. Here all these settings are done for you. If you want to use G-Sync, make sure you change this from fixed refresh to G-Sync, or yeah, whatever you're using. But yeah, everything else here is set correctly. Make sure you leave vertical sync on use 3D app. But yeah, everything else is done. A couple people, I guess I might as well just talk about this real fast. A couple people on the newer drivers are like, oh, what do I put on the OpenGL? I think it's like this one and this one that are new. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, I think it's just those two. OpenGL is like really old, so games don't really use that anymore. So just leave this on auto or default or whatever, if it makes you feel better, you can do prefer performance, but it's not going to do anything because the games don't use that anymore. But yeah, here obviously you just make sure you're on highest refresh rate, and then also make sure your dynamic range is on full. Some monitors by default are on limited. Desktop color settings is preference. When you if you go to your NVIDIA control panel before restarting, HDCP status will say it's like enabled, or like I forget exactly what it says, but once you restart, it'll say it doesn't support it, which means it's disabled, which is good. Yeah, everything else, desktop size and position. If you use native, put this on no scaling and display. And then yeah, everything else, nothing else to do in there. Once we're done with that, we can install some apps. I have a bunch of browsers. I have Chrome, Brave, and Firefox. Everything else is like trash. So I guess obviously unless you left Edge, you don't need to install. But yeah, these are really the three main. And then I have uBlock Origin for Chrome. And then I have Foobar for like Spotify like replacement. And then I have like setup guide, the video I made. If you want to try that out, I have some launchers here. And the launchers, when you install them, make sure you just disable auto updates, disable hardware acceleration, and disable in-game overlay. You'll be good to go. I have VLC, just like before. I have the skin in here, so I'll install this real fast. We can uncheck all of this. We don't need any of that except for these two. Under file type associations, you want to keep that. Hit install. And then we're just going to hit finish. Here we're going to uncheck these two, hit continue, close this. Basically we're going to Control C on this folder, or on this folder. I'm going to hit Control C and then open this and then paste it in here. Or do replace. Go back, do Control C on this one and paste it in here and replace. And then now when we open VLC, we have the black skin. So We have Afterburner with a little CFG to make sure you have core voltage unlocked and all the other limits unlocked. Yeah, I'll just show that real fast. Notepad. Okay, so yeah, basically just unlocks core voltage, so you can put that to the max. This is where you put it in. It's gonna give me an error, but yeah. We have OBS, and then I have like my OBS settings. So if you want it, like, if you have no idea, if you want to switch to OBS but you have no idea what to use for settings, this kind of gets you started, and then you can tweak it from there, or like look at a YouTube video, see if something else better suits you. But yeah, here's all that. Same thing, you just do Control C, and then you would go here and paste it in here. So if I were to do that, it'd just be like that. And then I have WinRAR 7-zip, whichever one you want. Doesn't really matter. And then I have Discord. Didn't really fit in any of these categories, so yeah, it's all by itself. But yeah, there's Discord. We have a check folder. Just make sure your date and time is set up correctly. Set that up. We have sound. Here I usually like to disable any monitor sounds and then uncheck both of these so it's nice and clean. Check activation, make sure the activation script worked. Basically it's going to say it's using your organization's service, which is good. Don't want to pay for a key. You can set some default apps, so yeah, if you want to set, like, they should be set honestly, like, because when you install the browser it should change this, but yeah, if you kept Edge, I think Edge overrides that or something. Wouldn't doubt it. If you use your camera, make sure you turn this on. Microphone, make sure this is on. Indexing doesn't really do anything, but if you want to disable indexing, like, uncheck this, apply an OK, and then apply. It's like a little window that says apply all attributes or something like that. It doesn't mess up searching. I've tested all that. If you want to, you can. Visual effects. Yeah, this should all be done, but if you prefer to have your text like this, where it's kind of like, I guess it's sharper in a way, but it kind of hurts my eyes. So yeah, but some people I know prefer that. So taskbar icons. So basically, I always like to remove the microphone one and the network one. Everything else is preference. If you're on a laptop, you can remove like the power if you don't want that. It's grayed out obviously because I'm on desktop, but yeah. Do OK. Snap windows for dual monitors. So if you can't move, it to the other monitor, you got to turn this off so you can get it across. And then the last one, I have check other drives. So if you deleted your other drives, basically they're not going to be formatted, so you're going to have like a big black like square down here that says unallocated. Basically just right click on it. I'll show you what it looks like. Right click on it and you do I don't know if it says assign drive letter or it says change drive letter, but yeah, it's like change or assign drive letter, and just set it to whatever you want. So that's all done, and then we have cleanup. So yeah, once you install your stuff, there'll be some stuff in here. Basically you can clean it up. I'll show on my actual computer real fast. So I just have the same like LTSC thing. So yeah, if you were to go here, basically it makes like these folders. So you can see NT Lite, there's like a folder what we can do is we can actually just take this shortcut and do Control X and then Control C, Control V, and then we can delete this folder. And then if you want all these to be like up at the top, we can rename this and put a little underscore like that. And now NT Light is with all these other ones. So yeah, that's basically how you do that. Clean Start Menu 2 is just, it's the same thing. Some, I don't know, for some reason some things go here and some go to this one, but yeah. We have auto runs, so once you install your stuff, you might have like some updaters and whatnot in here, so yeah, just be careful in here. If you don't know what it is, you can actually just search online, or just don't touch it. For sure, like, definitely be careful in like these couple down here, like drivers. Well, not these are fine, but like these definitely don't want to uncheck. But anyways, I did actually include a different theme in this one, so basically by default this is set to like Storm. So if we were to go to personalize and let's see, colors, I think, yeah, so this is set to Storm. That's the darkest default color you can set, but in registry you can set a custom, like you can set like custom colors, or well, you can set custom colors here, but you can't set like completely black, but in registry you can. So if you run this, you will now have a fully black start menu and fully black settings. Some of the text is also black, and so it makes it a little hard to see. But yeah, if you like this, yeah, I guess it's pretty cool. It makes your taskbar also black, which blends in like super nicely with the background. If you don't like it, if you get tired of it, you want to go back to the Storm one, you can run this, and we're back to normal. So yeah, I have clear event viewer logs, so if your event viewer is getting like filled up with a bunch, like if you go to administrative events and you have like, I don't know, 5,000 or something crazy, you can run this and it'll clear them. Remove startup apps, probably won't have anything here, but yeah, if there is something here, there's that. And then we have ultimate cleanup. This is always good to run after a fresh install, because there's a bunch of temp. So yeah, we'll run this. Basically, it's going to delete the temp files here, hit enter, and this will go through each drive and do that, and then hit enter. We're done. And then for fixes, just a couple things you might run into. If you want the store back, I have this. So run this with PowerShell and get the store back. I had this in LTSC, the system failure. So basically you just go to like startup and recovery settings and change this to small memory dump. This is if you're getting, it's a weird blue screen, it's called like kernel mode trap error, I believe it was. And yeah, for whatever reason, this setting this to small fixes that. But if you've never gotten that, never had that issue, don't worry about it. If you find that you're searching for things, like let's say I was searching for like photos and it wasn't coming up like this, make sure you watch this video here. it will show how to fix that. And then I just have SFC scan now. Yeah, that's literally all it does. Just a system file checker. So if you're overclocking RAM, this will be really helpful, because definitely could corrupt some stuff. But yeah, besides that, you're basically done. If you need to install your games, install any other apps, go ahead and do that. When you're all completely done, make sure you come back to clean up and double check, like auto runs, maybe run this bat again. Just clean things up, and yeah, you're good to go. Like in all the other ones, I have the Google Doc. I haven't updated in a long time, but yeah, regardless, this has good information if you want to learn more. But besides that, super clean install. It's just as good as LTSC at this point, because yeah, everything's removed. So yeah, enjoy.